Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm John Reisinger.
It's November, which means we're right in the middle of the most painful part of the year for your wallet, thanks to the holiday gaming season, with a brand new console right around the corner to boot.
Yeah, so Sony might have PlayStation 4 Pro and PSVR to keep its customers happy heading into 2017. Meanwhile, Microsoft's got...
What do they got?
Well, they have Xbox boss Phil Spencer saying a bunch of shit because their next console is still about a year away.
Happy Halloween.
That's almost the same thing.
Man, he does not stop talking these days, and I love it. Still, Spencer's been dishing out some new interviews that give us some brand new details about Xbox Scorpio, shedding some light on when and how Microsoft may plan to implement VR into their console. Plus, he's offered a little bit more about Microsoft's plans beyond Scorpio and whether or not they tend to make new hardware cash grabs on a regular basis like this.
Yeah, so ever since Microsoft first announced Scorpio and the end of the idea of console generations, one of the big worries from gamers has been that there will be brand new hardware to purchase every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, welcome to PC gaming.
It's awesome. However, Spencer has some comments in a new interview that may alleviate these concerns. Sorta?
A little bit.
Maybe?
Speaking with Game Informer about the future of Xbox and whether or not Microsoft will put out hardware more regularly, Spencer said, "I don't have this desire to every 2 years have a new console on the shelf. That's not part of the console business model, and it doesn't actually help us."
Isn't it part of it though?
Well, I mean, it's definitely different than what they've been saying.
Yeah, so Spencer went on to say that the best customer is simply one who buys an Xbox and buys all its games.
You don't say.
Yeah, really just shocking us with that one. While it might sound reassuring that Spencer himself doesn't have a desire to release a new console every few years, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the case for everyone at Microsoft.
In fact, Spencer even admitted that he's got no idea what happens next from here, saying, "To be completely honest, I don't know what the next console is past Scorpio. We're thinking about it."
Cool. So there's definitely plans to keep churning these things out, especially if Microsoft aims for them to all be forward and backward compatible.
Whatever that means exactly.
It sounds like a sex position.
No, it doesn't, John.
Still, it's interesting that Microsoft has been more hesitant to comment on that part of their console strategy because they've also said they want to do away with generations altogether.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be the first time they've been a little bit fuzzy on the details regarding the current plans for the Xbox brand. Microsoft sort of waffled in the past about offering upgradable Xboxes, for instance, and now they even seem to be waffling just a little bit about whether or not Scorpio is going to be VR ready right out of the gate.
In addition to talking about console iterations, Spencer's also been talking about how Xbox One plans to incorporate VR, and right now he thinks the experience just isn't there.
According to another interview Spencer conducted with Steve Iver, Scorpio is going to be VR capable, but they'll probably wait until VR is more than just, quote, demos and experiments.
That's a burn.
End quote. Wow, don't pull any punches there, Spencer.
That's a burn to like the entire VR community and all the programmers and everything. Spencer said, "We designed Scorpio as a VR capable console. Whether that happens this year, next year, or the year after, like I said, I still think the creative community has to get its arms around what are these new tools and this new feeling, this new immersion."
Like, it certainly sounds a little different than how they've talked about VR in the past, though, which does matter. It's where it's been a primary focus and one of the main reasons for Scorpio's existence, because it's got the power. And considering Microsoft just announced VR headsets for Windows 10, it also comes at kind of a weird time. If Microsoft didn't believe in VR just yet, why are they building headsets for Windows users?
Maybe he's just talking, and he shouldn't be talking so much. But if he just stops talking, we can't talk about this kind of stuff, so keep talking, dude. Keep going. Although, to be fair, this could just be a strategy to downplay PSVR. Right now, VR is seen as a big selling point for the PlayStation brand over the Xbox brand. Spencer may just be casually comparing current VR, like the type you'll get on PSVR, to nothing more than experiments and demos, so consumers don't feel like they're missing out on anything.
Yeah, that's gonna work because PlayStation VR hasn't reportedly sold hundreds of thousands of units already. Either way, it seems like VR might be further off for Scorpio than we originally thought and may not launch with the new console at all, possibly even waiting a year or two beyond that, although, you know, by that time Scorpio's gonna be totally outdated and you'll need to upgrade the hardware all over again, right? And also, no one will pay attention to your platform for VR because they'll have established it everywhere else. It's a dirty cycle, Spencer.
It's a bit hard to make heads or tails of Microsoft's console strategy at the moment, and when they first unveiled it at E3, some analysts were saying they'd killed all of their chances right at the starting line, but with less than 2 weeks left before the launch of PlayStation 4 Pro, it seems we've got some data showing that it's Microsoft's strategy, not Sony's, that has all the momentum.
Well, not all the momentum, but It's got more momentum than we thought it was going to have, for sure. In addition to outselling PlayStation for multiple months in a row since the release of the Xbox One S, we've also got some new financial statements from Sony which show that PlayStation sales are starting to slump just a little bit heading into the holiday season, which, again, not that surprising. They do have more hardware coming up.
The company just posted its Q2 financial results, revealing that both sales and operating income are down more than 10% year over year, with the company selling less PlayStation 4s than they projected. When you add that to the price cuts for PS4, it means less money overall for Sony's most profitable sector.
Isn't it like their only profitable sector?
I was gonna say.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It could just be the consumers are waiting for the PS4 Pro to release before taking the plunge, which at this point, I'd say is likely. If you're thinking about getting a console, why not wait 2 weeks and get a better console?
Yeah.
But it's also possible that sales are finally just tapering off as it starts to, I don't know, get more saturated within the market. As you know, people that want a PS4 got a PS4 now.
Yeah.
Possible. I mean, there's no way the PS4 could keep up the kind of momentum it showed right at the beginning.
Yeah, Xbox new strategy seems to be working out very well for it. Xbox One S and the Scorpio, despite some faltering messaging from Microsoft, seem to have flanked Sony just right and might get them some long-term support heading into next year.
Yeah, well, considering that PS4 Pro is getting dinged by some hardcore gamers for being, well, underpowered, I guess. Even PlayStation architect Mark Cerny thinks the true target for native 4K gaming is 8 teraflops, which is twice the power of the PS4 Pro. You gotta get those flops. Scorpio might swoop in at just the right time to help Microsoft gain more ground back, even than they're making already.
Whoever decided to make that word teraflops deserves a reward.
Well,
like,
I mean, it's, you know,
so many, like, you know, suffixes they could have gone with.
Yeah. It's floating point operations. I don't even remember at this point. It's flops.
Right now, one of the big problems Sony faces is how to market the PlayStation 4 Pro. Its biggest selling points are that it offers 4K gaming and better graphics, and those would be hard to market to casual consumers.
So yes, PS4 Pro also offers HDR, but Sony actually just rolled that out to all PS4s through a recent update, so sort of takes the wind out of those sails. But it makes all the other consoles better, so I guess we break even. Meanwhile, the cheaper Xbox One S can still say it offers basically the same things, along with an Ultra HD Blu-ray player to boot, which some Sony consoles do not.
That's so sad. Sony knows that it's got a severe marketing challenge ahead of it too, which is why infamous analyst Michael Pachter is predicting that they're going to outspend Microsoft 2-1 this holiday season. In addition to having tough hardware to market, they're also missing out on something else Microsoft has a lot of this holiday season: exclusive games.
At the moment, pre-orders for the system are higher than Sony expected, but good pre-orders aren't always an indication that sales are going to stay strong for a system, as was the case with some not so notable pieces of hardware, like, for example, the Vita and the Wii U.
We don't talk about those. It'll be interesting to see if the strong sales of the Xbox One S continue over the holidays, or if things swing back Sony's way thanks to both PSVR and PS4 Pro.
What do you guys think about these new details for Xbox Scorpio, and whether or not PS4 Pro is going to keep up Sony's momentum? Let us know in the comments.
For future updates on Sony and Microsoft's continued attempts to get us to buy more of their shit, like this video and subscribe to the Know.
They'll never stop.
Yeah, watching me flop around the stage would be a bad thing.
I mean, I would pay negative. I'd pay you to stop.
Pay me to stop. Oh, good. Then that could be a whole career.
Stripper name be Floppy John.
Floppy Johnson. Let's just talk about waffling.
I like
sounds
waffles.
like a fun activity.
Who doesn't like waffles?
Let's go waffling.